Feels good. Happy to be back. Thank you.
You took a minute there. Did you have to really think about that answer, or?
No, just making sure that that it's the right answer. It's the answer I want to give, so I got to feel it first.
Can you talk to me a little bit about how this fight came about? When did you hear the name Anthony Smith, and kind of how the negotiations went?
Friday, I don't remember the date, but the Friday before I was supposed to fly out to Austin, Friday morning, I got a text message from Mick Maynard informing me that my previous opponent wouldn't be able to fight. Very overwhelming news, especially like right before I go into my last workout before I leave town. But Mick was able to reach out and, I'd imagine, ask Anthony Smith if he'd be willing to step in. And thankfully he said yes, and so here we are.
Is that a name that excited you maybe more than your previous opponent?
I believe so. Yeah, I can say that honestly. Yeah, it did excite me a little bit more, only because I've had past conversations about this potential matchup, maybe, 1 or 2 fights from now or something like that. So the name has definitely come up in the past as far as just what to aim for when reaching for a title shot, So he's up there. So the name came up, so it was something that I was a little bit more familiar with. And so, yeah, it was a bit more exciting.
And I know you only got 1 extra week, but in that week, did you guys do anything different to prepare for him, or did you kind of act like, you were fighting already and you just took the week off? What was that week like for you?
There were some adjustments. And I think that we chose to go after, the adjustments pretty early, pretty much got the news Friday, and by Friday night, it's like, okay, we're working on a few adjustments. And then, the week after that has been a mixture of what I've been doing, some adjustments included. So, yeah.
Why do you think he said yes to this fight?
Because it's Anthony Smith. I mean, the tough guy, Lionheart, they call him that for a reason. Strong guy. It's like, okay, I don't really see him saying no to many fights, but that's just my perspective. I don't really know the guy, but from what I've put together, I think he says yes because he's a strong guy and he knows what he's capable of.
What kind of fight are you expecting from him?
I can't say that I'm expecting anything. I don't really feel a sense of expectation. I can imagine certain scenarios, and I've got a pretty good answer for a lot of different scenarios. So, let's see.
This may seem like a silly question from the outside, but when you have a fight like this against someone like Anthony Smith, do you prefer to go in there and fight 3 rounds and dominate him and prove yourself over 3 rounds, or do you prefer to go in and get a quick knockout and make headlines, but maybe people think, oh, it was a fluke, maybe we need to see it again? Which kind of fight do you prefer?
Based off of just past experience and feedback, I'd say I prefer fights that the fans remember. Whether it's a knockout, whether it's 3 rounds, I just prefer a fight that fans remember, because that is a big part of why we do it. And so, as I start to fight and collect fights and put those in the arc, just put those out there, I'd prefer to be, acknowledged and remembered for like the fights that the fans were like, man, that was one of my favorite fights, whether it's a knockout or, or it goes the distance.
Last one for me. Was there any disappointment that you'd be fighting here in Vegas again? Maybe not so much Vegas, but the fact that maybe there aren't fans. It was going to be a big card. It turned out to be a pretty good night. Was there any disappointment there?
No, I don't feel any disappointment at all. I don't mind it one bit. I think being able to fight in front of a crowd is nice and it's cool, but I also think that right now a lot of people watch on television, and I think that it's a good thing. I mean, I like the amount of viewers it gets. I think it's cool. I don't mind it, whether it's traveling or staying here. I'm okay.
Thank you.
Kind of going off that, you are 4-0 at the Apex. Is it just kind of finding good luck at the Apex?
Nah, it has nothing to do with luck or, I mean, it's nice. It's nice. Good memories here and things like that, so it's nice to have. But, yeah.
You opened up as a minus 250 favorite over Anthony Smith, who's a former title challenger. Was that kind of surprising, or do you not look at that kind of stuff?
That's the first time I've ever heard that. I don't pay attention to betting odds, things like that. Doesn't concern me. I don't bet, They have their way of gathering information and creating numbers, and it's not my thing, so cool for the guys out there who do bet, if you're betting on me or whatever. Hopefully it means it's good for the people who back me. Yeah.
What does a win over Anthony Smith do for your career?
I'd imagine that it would bring me higher in the rankings. I imagine that it would bring a good wave of new fans and potential popularity. I think it just helps my career elevate to another, level or stage.
And it probably pushes you towards that main event that you've been asking for your past couple of fights, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that the fact that this fight is co-main event is a great, warm-up to a main event and being able to, even be worthy of having a main event. So, yeah, man.
I know you're not probably looking past Anthony Smith, but Johnny Walker's fighting in January. A win over Anthony Smith is pretty big. Would you, maybe with a win, do you want to get that Johnny Walker rematch?
I don't have it in my heart to say, it doesn't eat at me. It doesn't, doesn't keep me up at night. It's another fight that I believe that can and will happen. And that's all that I can really think, it was unfortunate, I got knocked out, but it created a lot of great things for me. It was a great pivotal moment in my life. So it doesn't anger me or make me feel like I need revenge or need to get that back to clear my record or whatever. It's just, it's in there, and when it happens, it happens.
And then I wanted to ask, there is a new champion in your division, Alex Pereira. Did you watch that fight? And
I did.
What do you think of Alex becoming a light heavyweight champion?
It's pretty amazing. Middleweight champion, former middleweight champion, right? Light heavyweight champion. I think it's great. I think what he's up to and the impact that he's able to make and the amount of fans he's able to reach out to, touch and people back him and they believe in him and they like his fighting style and his character, and double champ, coming from Brazil, having a, pretty cool background story, going all through this stuff to become double champion, I think is great.
Would you move down to middleweight to fight Sean Strickland?
No. I have no intention at all in moving down to middleweight for any reason. No.
You probably couldn't do it anyway.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Thanks, Khalil.
Yep.
Just going back to the 4-fight win streak that you're on, it's probably, if not, I think it is the best run that you've had in the UFC up to this date. Are you feeling like things are hitting it? Are you hitting your stride right now, or what's been the real key to the success that you're on right now?
The real key to the success. I think, to simplify it all, I think it's discipline. I think that's been the key to the success that I've been able to have so far, is just discipline in my training, in what I consume, not just food, but whether it's books or, mindfulness or learning something new, or just staying disciplined and just feeding myself healthy things, as many healthy things as I can. And then my training and staying disciplined in my effort every day. And just having a goal and realizing that it just takes a consistent work and a effort level that doesn't just plateau. The effort's got to stay here and the work's got to stay here. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably been the key, is just staying disciplined.
Well, I think when you talk about discipline, everybody looks back to go back and way back in history when you were overweight and you used discipline to get you to your physique and everything that you look now. Is it that same sort of exact mindset, or is it even just more focused now that you realize that your career and everything's based upon? Is the discipline now even better than what you employed back then?
I think that the discipline is better now. And I think that I choose it because of everything, not only my career and the success, but my abilities and my dreams, not only as a fighter, but as a father, as a husband, or like all of these things. And I'm using it to kind of, I guess, shape and mold who I will be in the future, and working hard to be just something more. So as I mature, I guess I realize the significance of what, discipline can bring for if you plan a future, I think that's one of the best ways to get to what you imagine, is to set it and then stay disciplined in your action to it, and then things reveal themselves,
Well, it's definitely working, so it's awesome to see. Just one of the last ones. Are you able to look back at that last fight with Ryan Spann? Are there things that you could take away for his last fight against Ryan Spann? Are there things you could take away from that fight to benefit you in this particular matchup?
I'm sure there are things that I could take away. And there were some, like I said, adjustments that were made on my end. And if all goes well, then I'll be able to capitalize.
Well, fair enough. I guess to follow up to that, what are your keys to the victory? What needs to happen to make sure that you get your arm raised on Saturday?
Let me get back to you on that one.
Show me on Saturday, right?
I'll show you on Saturday. Yeah.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Khalil right here. Kind of bouncing off what Kenny was alluding to earlier on. For you, obviously, you're very invested inside the octagon. However, outside, how are you doing mentally and emotionally? But also, too, what are you doing now these days? Are you still kind of throwing axes, hitting the golf ball around in your backyard? Like, what are you doing to just decompress and be able to keep moving forward?
I didn't even think I'd be able to bring this up. That's cool. Thanks for that question. I'd say that golf has been a huge, huge mental release for me, for sure. I never knew. I've only been swinging a golf club for maybe 3 months now. But when I started to dive into it and when I got introduced to it, it's such a complex game. And it's not something that you can just pick up and perfect every time. Like, if you don't work on your swing and make adjustments, then like you'll never be able to properly drive or chip or even putt a golf ball. And there's so many layers to it. So I think that it's been able to be a good like mental release as far as like a hard day at training camp or maybe like just stress at home, whatever it may be. And just like, okay, just go in the backyard and line up these putts, or go to the driving range and just make sure that I've got proper form and that it feels right when when the club makes contact. So it's brought like a sense of peace, and there's nothing more peaceful to me than like being out on a golf course. Like just everything's green. It's like you're outdoors, the sun's shining. And I think it's just been very healthy for my mind. So definitely one of the things. What else? I do as much as I can as far as like practicing, just sitting still, trying to be in the silence and just kind of block out all the other stuff. And then I think those are ways to definitely keep my mind healthy. Barely use social media, like it's just, if I get into it, then after a week, I just notice a difference in myself. And so, yeah, just try to I've been like outside of training and things like that, whatever's going on, I'm just trying to like kind of level everything out so that I feel good. I don't even know if that answers your question, but yeah.
No, absolutely. And speaking on that golf game, I mean, for me personally, it's snowman every time. So there's not much to it. But with that being said, sometimes your drive goes really well, but then you can't chip it in. Or, you can't drive well, but you do chip it in. For you, when you take a look at your golf game, do you see any resemblance in your inside the octagon, or you try to separate the two distinctly?
Yeah, no, things start to kind of merge together, even unintentionally. It's just let's say I'll be at Muay Thai training or something, and then I start to try to apply like golf techniques or movements, like, let me rotate more, maybe I'll punch better, maybe my punch will go straighter if I just like rotate here, if I don't plant my feet like this, or so I think they've been able to help me kind of look at each other differently. Even when I go golf, the first time I picked up the driver, I didn't even go to iron. I'm like, all right, we're at a driving range, I'm going straight driver. And I didn't know that, that's just kind of, people don't do that when you know what you're doing. So, and I was just swinging at it like 100%. Next day I was like, oh, my back's tight, all these things. So I guess starting to make things just be a little bit more easy, like take it easy, slow, consistent, soft, like just clean swing. And then so when I apply that to my fighting, then when I go train, I'm like, training's not so bad when I just kind of take it easy. Not everything is like, So yeah, there's been some cool, similarities.
When you do go golfing, are you golfing by yourself? Are you going with some friends or family? And then when you do find yourself in that pickle of, okay, I'm not swinging well today, or things don't feel right, or even when you're training as well, are you kind of pulling that old Happy Gilmore, just go to your happy place kind of thing?
So to be absolutely honest, right now, I've been to multiple golf courses, but I myself didn't have the confidence to actually golf. So now I go to the driving range and chip and I'll putt, and then if I golf, it's on a simulator with friends because I just don't want to go out and just shank the ball completely and then have that in my mind while I'm, trying to finish the 18. So right now I'm really just trying to practice and develop my swing, make sure that things are consistent. But the times that I have been out, it's been with friends, group of people. I don't think that I wouldn't mind going on my own. But also my fiance Mia, she golfs. She loves it too. So it's a cool thing that like it's not something that I'm doing to like escape the house or just like I need my free time and leave the wife at home. It's not that case. It's like if we're both a little bit stressed, it's like let's go to the range. Perfect. We take our clubs to the range and then the both of us together are just kind of like bonding over getting better. So I think I ranted. My bad.
Oh, you're all good. It was all great. Look forward to seeing that translate into the octagon Saturday. Good luck.
Cool. Thank you guys.